What's up, everyone? I'm going to show you I'll just say an ab drill. It's really more of a 50-50 ab slash core hip workout. Your hips are doing a ton of work here. I'm going to show you a few variations of this because this one can be tricky. Some people have, will come in and maybe the lower back is a little bit dodgy. So there's different ways you can do this without hurting yourself. But let me show you what the different variations look like, and then we'll break them all down. Okay, so I'll break these down. I went from, we'll just say most advanced, or we'll just say hardest, to the progression that's, well, just, I don't like to use the word easy because they're really not easy, but it's, it's the most regressive version of the original movement. So what I'm going to do is, right when I get set, so this is the very beginning right here, I set my feet, and watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go the wrong way. I'm going to crank my chest up. So right here, see how I lift my rib cage up? This is not where I want to be. It's kind of like the slow motion sit up that I shot a video of. I'm going to crush my abs into position, make sure that they are locked. Now from here, I can now get set. I've lost zero tension through my abdomen, and all I'm going to do, and for some reason people go, get backwards here. Just think of it this way: when I'm leaning back, that's when my feet go forward, and then vice versa. So I will start to lean back. I start to reach my feet forward, so that's my counterbalance. And I'm going to get to right here. I'm not going to go any lower than this, okay? This is actually a drill in itself called the bowl, but I'm landing in a bowl, so you can see that my shoulder blades are not on the ground. I'm also not cranking my head forward. I don't want to, people always try to lift with their face. Your neck is going to try to go crazy here, so keep a nice neutral neck. If you can do these things smiling, you don't have to, but I don't want to see you grunting through these things with, your neck veins popping out. My neck is in a real, we'll say neutral, not relaxed, but neutral position. My legs are now in a nice straight line. One of the regressions, some people will do this and their heels will land on the ground. That's not necessarily wrong, but for the full variation, I'm trying to do this. I'm going to try to keep my heels floating, but my legs are locked out. And then from here, I'm going to come back up. I pull my knees with my shoulders, and I'm just going to meet in the middle. Now, when I get to here, I let my feet land. Some people will do, consecutive reps where they keep their feet in the air, and that's okay. I mean, if you have the balance for that, awesome. When you get to here and your feet land, that is also okay. Just make sure that you don't unload. You don't get here and just start relaxing and then go to the next one. I'm still maintaining tension through my trunk. The next variation is I'm going to move my arms away from my body, so I have less weight here now, more weight down here. This makes it easier to counterbalance. Still not easy, but this is an easier variation of it. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to lean back. I'm going to bring my legs forward until I get into that bolt position. And again, this is as low as I'm going to go right here. I don't want my shoulder blades on the ground. If my shoulder blades do that, it'll collapse to the floor. My lower back will hyperextend. So this is as low as I'm going to go. And then from here, same thing. I'm going to bring my knees to my chest, and then I can land, or else I can go into another rep. I'll leave that up to you. Generally, I let my feet land for a second, and then I move on to my next one. The next variation is I'm going to start with my hands up top. I'm going to lower myself down, but this time I'm going to use a little bit of help. So right about here, I'm going to throw my arms. Now, one thing is, you can see a little bit of rocking here. What I'm not doing is I'm not letting my lower back kind of bowl like this. You look at where I am. I'm still in this set, tense position. So when I throw my arms are moving quickly. Boom, there's my momentum. That's going to help me, fling myself back to the top. And I land. But I never once let my back change position, if that makes any sense. The last of these, this is great, especially for people that say, I can do one of these, but then either I get too tired or maybe it's too hard on my back. What you can do is you can just set your fingertips. So basically push your fingertips, slide them into you until you feel your hips, until you slide right into your own butt. Plant your palms, and then I'm going to crush my elbows towards each other. I don't want to let my elbows flare away from my body because that'll let my shoulders kind of hunch forward, and we don't want that. I'm going to set my hands, my elbows are crushing towards each other, and now from here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lower myself backwards until I land on my elbows. Now when I get to here, I'm still not letting my back, do the bow. It looks like I'm still kind of holding a crunch because I am. The only difference is now my arms are acting as a little bit of a helper. They're going to help my core muscles out a little bit. I get to here, and I come back up to the top. So these are the four variations, I guess I should say. I'm going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to show you, well, actually, here we go. Here's what I don't want to see. I'm glad I included this when I filmed. As I go down, I see a lot of this. So far it's not bad, but right about here, you can see, watch my stomach. You're going to see it just start to unravel. Right about here. You can see now instead of staying in a nice bowl position, it's going to collapse the other way. And boom. Now all of a sudden, I fell to here. I don't want to try to move out of this. This is not where I want to fall to. So if I'm stuck there, now I have to reset. So see, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to crush my abs back on, right? Boom. Okay. Now I've reset. From this position here, again, I call this the bowl. Now I'm able to go back up. Okay. So let's watch this again. You should not end up here. Okay? That's really, really important. And people say, oh, now your back is flat now. Well, the idea is I'm trying to keep my abs on, which means my back will actually be in a slight rounded position. That means that the front of my body is staying active, and that's going to keep my lower back from trying to jump in and get overloaded. Some people do sit-ups and they complain of back pain. Well, that's because your hips are doing the sit-up work. It just means that your hips are stronger than your core. So if, we want your core to be, we'll say, proportionally just as strong as all the other muscles around it. This can apply to anything, a squat, a bicep curl, for all I care. If my core is not able to keep up with the movement, it doesn't really matter what I'm doing. The movement is lost. So this is as low as I'm going to go, and then from here, now I can actually get back to the top without any loss of, we'll say, spinal integrity. Okay, this video is long enough. I made about 10 of these today, so sorry if I sound a little bit a little bit less enthusiastic than I normally sound, but hopefully this at least helps you understand the movement, what I'm looking for, and more importantly, what I'm not looking for. Give these a try and let me know how they go.